What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. We're gonna do how to, well, I don't know if you want to call it how to. Everybody knows how to paint. Fuck it. We're gonna paint the exhaust tips on my car because we're bored. No tracks are open. We're still in stupid COVID isolation shit. I've been working. Both my jobs are essential, so my world is really no different. But anyways, we're gonna go around the back of this thing and talk about how they get the tips off, how they're gonna go back on, what we're gonna do to them. All right, so obviously I've already cheated. I took the tips off and I already cleaned one of them. So here's what you need: a wrench, a ratchet, an impact, anything you got. It's got 13 millimeters. So I didn't use the impact to get it off, but I will use it to put it back on. I used a hammer and that dowel rod and this screwdriver. That's it. So this is a tip that's already been cleaned. This tip has not been cleaned. That's why we're gonna paint it, because they get dirty. They look like shit. Plus, there's no chrome on this car anywhere that I can think of. Anyways, so there's your little clamp, and that is 13 millimeters. You're gonna loosen that up, and I could not just wiggle these off of there, so that's what I used the dowel rod for. I used the dowel rod and a hammer, and I gently tapped it on there like that. Just gave it a couple love taps on the top and the bottom, and then I got it inside of there and wiggled it off like that. It came right off after I did that. I did spray some WD-40 inside of there to kind of loosen it, but I don't think that helped. I think it was the taps. So the other thing is this clamp. If you look, this clamp, this space where the screwdriver is, that's where your exhaust tip's gonna go. So I kind of pulled it out a little bit, so that when I go to put these back on, they'll go in there a little easier. So now we'll go to the cleaning part of this. Alright, so this is the cleaning part. I already got a fresh batch of hot water with some Dawn dish soap. And I already cleaned the wand. Scuffed it up with this little pad here. It's like a Scotch-Brite pad. This one's a little coarser. They're wet, obviously, because I did the first one a little while ago. And then this is an SOS pad. And then you're going to want some gloves because the water's really hot. So we're going to let this one kind of soak in there for a little bit. And then I'm going to scrub it. As you can see, that water's nice and dirty. Got all that bullshit off of there. About as clean as I'm going to get it. That's about 5 minutes of scrubbing. There's the other one. That one's, they're both about the same. Anyways, they're all scuffed up, so we're gonna go outside and paint them. I'll show you that paint. Alright, so here we go. Clean tips, dry tips, they're scuffed. And here's the paint. Dupli-Color Caliper. This is gloss black, heat resistant up to 500 degrees. Those tips will not get anywhere near that hot. But my first coat, and I've already shaken it up quite a bit. The first coat's just going to mist it on there. That's too hard to paint with one hand and watch the video with the other. Anyways, so it's just a light misting. I'll come back and I'm going to do at least 4 coats. I forgot to mention, but so here's like a little addendum. This is Dupli-Color Caliper paint with the ceramic shit inside of there, so it's tough, super tough. Anyways, just so you know when you're looking for a Dupli-Color Caliper paint with a enamel with ceramic in it, that's the paint you want. So I put at least 6 coats of paint on there. Turned out pretty good. One thing I wouldn't do is I flip these over and put the tips facing down with this part. So that picked up a little bit of dirt, and that was pretty dumb. So, in hindsight, wouldn't do that. We'll just leave them like this and paint them. So, they look alright. What I'm going to do with the oven is it's been preheated to 200. Turn it off. And we're going to stick these in the oven for about an hour. And it's going to cure the paint. And then we'll put them on after that and see how it looks. Alright, here's a moment of truth. These are painted, they're cured, nice and dry. So I'm going to show you something on here. When you put this on, half of that clamp is going to grab half of this and half of that. So I'm going to set the camera down so I can tighten that up. Alright, so I snugged it up with the impact driver. So it's on there. Yeah. I never noticed how small these are. That's pretty funny. I'm going to line it up and finish tightening it up. They're on there. They look pretty good. I'm going to pull it out in the sun and see what it looks like out there, although it's cloudy, so. I think it looks pretty good.